See they don't land US Air Force live in Nigeria. US Air Force live in Nigeria. US Air Force live in Nigeria. Yes, they are killing people. Innocent children are dying. Innocent pregnant women. They will go to church and kill everybody. US Air Force is here for you guys. US Air Force is here. See for that in Thomas. Where be this place? Where be this place? Which aeroplane are they see? For doubting Thomas. US Air Force in Nigeria. Trump mean this thing. So people were doubting. He's here now. All this rubbish will stop. All this innocent killing will stop. All this.
All right. So we have seen video of the US military carrier in Nigeria, though we don't know their mission yet. But of course, a couple of days ago, we saw news that the Nigerian Chief of Defense has gone to US to sign a deal with the Secretary of War in US. And according to them, that deal is that the US is going to provide Nigeria with intelligence, with weapons, and with everything that they need to fight insurgency in Nigeria. And after listening to that news, I began to nod my head. I say, what really is going on in Nigeria? What is going on? Because you cannot tell me that we are facing high rate of insecurity in Nigeria, which seems that our leaders cannot fight. And yet, somebody that can do this has said, okay, I'm coming to do it for you. And you say, no, don't come. Reason that thing. Don't you think that there is something behind it? Every day in Nigeria, we are neither hearing of kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, all sort of, insecurity is going on daily basis in Nigeria. And the people that know how to do this the best have said, okay, I'm coming to do it. And our leaders, our politicians are telling them not to come. The best thing they could do was to run to US to sign a deal with them that don't come, but give us intelligence, give us weapons to use to fight these people. Now I ask, all the weapons they have been buying from all these countries. A couple of months ago, about 5-6 months ago, I posted it on this channel that Nigeria acquired weapons from US. I posted it on this channel. What are they using all those weapons they bought? What are they using it for? Before you know it, all these weapons will still land in the hands of these bandits. All these weapons they bought, or the US will give them, they will still land in the hands of this terrorism. Now, after listening to that news again, I nodded my head. I remember a couple of months ago, the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, visited Russia, and he also signed the same deal with the Russian Federation, of course, the Russian Chief of Defense Staff. I posted it on this channel. I'm going to read a brief of it for you now to see. It says, on the 13th day of May 2025, just a couple of months ago, it said, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has paid a strategic courtesy visit to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Andrei Borosso, the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Moscow, as part of efforts to strengthen bilateral military cooperation. During the visit on Saturday, May 10th, 2025, General Musa outlined the optional needs of the Nigerian armed forces to the Russian government, highlighting areas where Russia could offer technical and logistical support.
Chief of Defense Staff, right here in Moscow, Russia. It's a pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Tiberius, from the United States, unfortunately.
Let me take a photo with you guys together.
I'm happy to be here to unite with the rest of the world for peace for the whole world. Preserving the memory prevents us from making similar mistakes in the future. The parade and the equipment display shows us that we need more peace than war.
Did you enjoy the parade today?
Yeah, great.
How did you like the victory today?
Yeah, it was awesome. Great.
Now, from this news, you understand that they actually signed, the agreement that Russia was going to help Nigeria. Now, since that time, what has happened? Did they not get any support from Russia? Did they not? they got. Now ask yourself, all this weapon, all this support, all these intelligences that have been gotten from other countries. Of course, a couple of months ago, we also saw the weapons they bought from China. What are they using it for? What are they using it for? Honestly speaking, I will say I'm disappointed with Trump, honestly, because according to Trump, he said he's going to come to help us, not signing a deal with our defense or whatever. Because personally, this is just a personal option now. I don't like this deal they signed. I would rather prefer Trump to come himself, let his soldiers come and do this work for us, than going to sign deal with the Nigerian defense. Again, I ask, before I allow you to watch what the chief of defense said, I ask, what is it that the Nigerian government is hiding from us that is making them not to allow this, better trained soldiers to come and help us fight insurgency in Nigeria? What is it that they are hiding in Nigeria? That is my question. Please, now I'm going to allow you to listen to what General Christopher Musa said about the insecurity that we are facing in Nigeria.
The overall goal for us is to make Nigeria safer. The mandate of Mr. President was very clear. We should secure the country, both our territorial integrity, and also to assist the police, especially in making sure that internally Nigeria is safe and secure. And so we're working assiduously together with other security agencies to ensure that we achieve that. It's a tall task. Being that our borders, are very porous, then the issue of poverty, hunger, and this issue. So a lot of people get attracted to coming to Nigeria, and a lot of them don't mean us well. So that's why it's important that we tackle this thing squarely and make sure that Nigeria remains safe and secure. The problem is that firstly, what we realize that every region has its own peculiarity. It's not all one for all. Secondly, there are internal issues, there are external issues. So it's a potpourri of challenges that's ongoing. The military is doing so much to ensure that there is peace. For Benue State particularly, there are a lot of internal wranglings. It has to do with politics, with cultural issues, with traditional issues. So you find out that even the locals within have their own internal organs, and that has also afforded opportunity for other people externally to come and also influence what's going on there. So that's why it's important that we continue to work together. The military is doing a lot within the kinetic and the non-kinetic. I've established an advisory team that has gone around trying to talk to them to get those ones that are causing most of this problem, especially the locals. The headsmen are there, some coming in because, from Benue, you can also link up to Cameroon. So we have issues of the abandoning influence into whatever it is that is going. A lot of arms and ammunition crossing across the border, human migration, illegal migration, drugs, and all sorts coming in through the border. So that's why it's critical for us, as we're doing that, we must take deliberate effort to address the issue of border management. Is critical. I've seen countries that have built physical wall to protect their countries, and frankly speaking, I think that's what we need. Because of the situation we are in now, whatever it takes, we need to secure all our borders. We have about 1,500 kilometers border stretch with Niger Republic, over 1,000 with Cameroon. We have some areas with Chad, we have with Benin Republic. All these areas we have criminals flowing into Nigeria. There's an attraction to Nigeria. Well, people feel Nigeria is rich with so many things, and it's large. So they want to take advantage of that coming into Nigeria to come and do what they're doing. So it's critical for us to continue to work together. For Benue State, they have border with some with Taraba within those areas, some even across the border. So that's why it's important that we must continue to reach with all the states adjoining Benue State, working together as a team. With Cameroon, we naturally have multinational joint task force. We work with them within those other areas too, because again, they too need to be secured. They are equally suffering the same fate because they're having a lot of attacks on their own bodies, and that's what. But again, the criminal elements of the Ambazonians are also causing a lot of problem. Crossing into Nigerian border to kill, steal, and destroy a lot of things. So we are working both within and outside to ensure we address those issues. And you know how the Lakurawas came from? They started from Niger. It was a group from Niger that came in. And we have warned severally and advised Nigerians, don't bring foreigners in and say they are your brothers. They are never your brothers. They don't mean us well. And that's the same thing with the Lakurawas. It's our people that brought them in. We gave them where to stay. We started doing with them, funding them, giving them one thing or the other, until when they realized that we couldn't continue with the funding, they started taxing. When the taxes were not coming in, they started attacking. And this has repeatedly continued to harm us as a nation. Boko Haram started like that. We got to where we are. The Lakrawas came in like that. See where they're taking us. The new group they're saying that is having around the Kanji area is not a new group. They're the same terrorist group that have been suffering casualties from the northwest. They are fucking looking for safe havens that have moved towards the Kainji forest to go and establish. And when they moved there, they went into the communities and told them we're our friends, we're together, we're not doing anything. The same thing. They said they were going to give them funds. Where they couldn't meet up, they started taxing them. Where they couldn't meet up, they started attacking them and killing them. So most of these problems, we are the ones even causing it on ourselves. And that's why it's important. We should not allow any foreigner to come in, whatever guise. Anybody coming in, you should follow through the proper channel. There are proper channels for you to move into countries. Let's stop this idea of we're being a big brother to everybody, and then they come in here and then become monsters against us. That is what was causing our problems. Terrorist groups are terrorist groups. You have terrorist group, you have bandits, you have cultists, you have armed robbers, you have the militants, with the crude oil and all these issues. So the idea is, for us, they're all criminals. That's just the common thing. And one thing is that, they cooperate more. And that's why it's important for the good people to also cooperate. Because what I realize is that the good people just stay in and say, look, these guys are criminals. These guys are cooperating and doing things together. And that's why they seem to be everywhere. The good ones must say no, never. We will never encourage them. We will never give them any safe haven to come and stay within our areas. Once we see them, because they trickle in gradually and you keep quiet until they gather the number, then they come out. That's what is happening everywhere. So that's why it's important for everybody not to allow them. Don't give them any safe haven for them to thrive. Nigeria is non-aligned, so we do not take sides with anybody. And that gives us the ability to be able to have relationship with any other country that is peaceful. As you're aware, Russia has been with Nigeria for very, very long. And not only Russia, other countries. Even when Nigeria was having its own civil war, it was Russia that came to our aid and all this. So it's important that we keep our relationship open. And follow up people that are really because they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. It is when your friend stands by you when you are in trouble, that's the kind of friend you should stand with. And so it's important that we continue to leverage with all those that are trying to support us and continue to work, because that's the only way we can. We don't produce what we need, and so it's been difficult sometimes, even with your money. Getting to buy stuff has been extremely difficult. So if we look at people that are trying to assist us, why not? In every area's training exchange program we're doing, Nigeria does a lot with, it will interest you to note that Niger, Mali, like I mentioned, and Burkina Faso, we still have some of their students in our schools as we speak. So we still do a lot of things together with them, and even trading across border, it still happens, because they know that a lot of them rely on Nigeria for most of the items they use. And they know that they cannot shut us down because it will be a detriment to their own development. And so that's why it's very, very important that we must continue to work together, militarily, otherwise, because it's important. The criminals we're dealing with, the terrorists, they don't respect border. They don't care whether you're in Chad, Nigeria, all they want is to kill. And that's why it's important that we must work together to prevent giving them having free havens for them to cross and perpetuate their acts. Our Air Force has been fantastic. It's been remarkable. With the challenges they're having of not having enough platforms, they're just magical, and I'm really very proud of our Air Force. And I know if we have more, we can do more, and that's why it's important. And like I said, not only Russia, we need all lovers of Nigeria, every country that supports us and loves us and is ready to provide what we need. Definitely we want to go for them. One of the areas that we get the highest casualty is IEDs, improvised explosive devices, which are planted on the road. And why does it work? Because our roads are not paved. So it makes it difficult, and it is very dangerous, such that if a vehicle steps on it, it's blown. If you go to our medical hospitals, you will see a lot of soldiers without limbs because of IEDs. We take a lot of casualties from there. So that's why it's important for us to continue to work with countries that can provide those things for us. The counter-drone, the anti-drone, we've gotten some, we'll continue to do more. The counter-IEDs too are very, very important, very, very relevant. And this is what brings about good governance. Most times, areas we operate with, we suffer casualty because we don't have roads. So we are forced to just take on those roads. And I give you an example. In Maiduguri, 20 kilometers distance, normally with a good road, it shouldn't take you minutes. But I can tell you it takes us 5 hours, because you have to get somebody on foot that will take your product to check for IEDs. Because if he makes a mistake, everybody is dead. So he will imagine taking on foot. You have to scan the whole width and length of the road you are going to. Everybody is slowed down. Everybody is waiting, because if you say you want to rush, you rush and you step, you are gone. So those are the challenges we're doing. So most times when you hear people say we gave information and soldiers didn't move and didn't go, if they try rushing into that place, they won't even get there, and everybody will be dead. So these are the challenges we have. Drones are everywhere. The drones they are using are not the combat drones. No, it's normal ordinary drones they use, and what they do is that they just try to use them, put a few explosives on them and then throw them out. That's what they do. But we're doing a lot to counter those things. We're also doing a lot to ensure that we also develop our own capacity. And not too long ago we had there's a company that was commissioned in Nigeria that also is producing drones. So many companies, the Air Force has, the Navy has, the Army have. We're also trying to develop our own local capacity to produce our own work. The Daikon Defense Industry Corporation is also encouraging other countries to come and produce drones in Nigeria, so that we can be able to have those things. And you know, drones they don't only operate for the military. We use them in healthcare, we use them in so many things. Some countries now, even for you to get fast food, and drones will come and deliver. So they have so many in agriculture and other areas. So it's something we have to do, because they are available. So it's easier for them to get those things and use them. Nigeria being a strong force in Africa, because over time we have shown that we have capacities. We have brought democracy in Sierra Leone, in Liberia. We've been to Yugoslavia. We're in Congo. We have done a lot, Burma and all those things. So Nigerians have done so much. What we are lacking now is enough equipment to be able to do so much. The federal government is really doing so well to assist us, but because we don't produce, it makes it extremely difficult that even with our money, getting some of this equipment has been a bit more difficult. So, but we need to be able to, we realize that it is only when we start producing our own, then you can say you can be self-sufficient. But we rely on buying from outside, and we'll continue to partner with our friends. So foreign forces depends on the policy of the country. But for Nigeria, is a no-no for foreign. We do joint training together to build our own capacity, our capabilities. If we get our equipments, they will come with their own training team, show us how to use them and all these things. But we have enough we have the capacity to be able to use those equipments for our own good. Because again, bringing foreign countries, they come with their own interests. There's a lot of times when they come in, they wouldn't even want it. So the issue becomes aggravated. I remember America was in Afghanistan for over 20 years. How did they end up? Most times you go to other countries, so it is you must stand in for your country. Nobody will love your country more than you. So you must love yourself, love your country, then defend your country. But most importantly for us is with the DICOM bill signed by Mr. President, for us to have those original equipment manufacturers come manufacture in Nigeria. We think if that is good, it will now give us the capability to produce our own and be able to model something that is good for us. It will bring employment for our youths. It will also be able to, from Nigeria, we can also sell to other countries that are around us. Again, foreign exchange for Nigeria. So it's a win-win thing for us. That's why I said the need for us to build physical structures to defend our country. It is critical. It's not something we say whether it is. Well, the tendency people will say, no, it's so expensive. Countries have done it. It is doable, and we must do it if we want to remain secured. And so working with other countries is for them to also know that is important. And they say charity begins at home. Secure your own border, because nobody else will do it for you. And that's very, very critical. First and foremost, it's important that we have a census. Because everything you're doing, you must have a database. Just like your office. I'm sure they have a database of all the workers, so they can account for everybody. We need to have that. With the sensors and technology now, we can capture every Nigerian in the world. We can capture each birth, each death. We should know communities, what number, what quantity, what vehicles. So it will help us in planning and security. With that, we can be able to track, if they get your signature or your thumbprint or your face, we'll be able to track where you are. When you go abroad and crimes are committed and people are arrested, they're not using witchcraft. It's because they have database they could compare with. So we need those database. And once we have that, it will help us a lot in what we're doing. And that's very, very critical for us. We are doing the best we can. The NFIU is doing its best. The DSS, the NIA are working together. The DIA here we have. All other agencies, including the police, are trying to track those. But again, you know, it is at an international dimension. And most of them cannot go beyond that. And that's why we're also meeting with international bodies for them to be able to track this movement of this equipment. I'm sure you remember, shortly after we made this announcement, even the US Congress came in and also, you know, said the same thing. So it shows that there's something that needs to be done drastically, and it needs everybody, especially the United Nations. They need to come forward to be able to step in as to what is going on, so that we can stop this menace. Security is everybody's responsibility. You know, before now, people used to just think everything is either with the armed forces or with the police or with the this. No. Every Nigerian has a role to play, because in the past, conventional warfare used to be one country attacking another country. Now, asymmetric warfare is fight from within by your people. So it makes it extremely difficult. So if the people too allow them to thrive, it makes it. And you know, remember I just said that most communities invite them. You come with them and say, no, they're from my religion, or they are my tribe men, or they are my ethnic group. You want to start funding them. When you can't sustain it, they start taxing you. When you stop paying, they start killing you. It's a cycle. And that's why it's important that nobody should do that. And then how do they move? What is aiding them? We have informants. The same Nigerians, the same individuals will tell them, we have seen soldiers coming, they are coming this way, 5 vehicles, they are like this, it's the same people. How do they get their funding? How do they get their logistics? Fueling, I can tell you when we're in the Northeast, if you carry 10 liters of fuel, you can get as much as 20,000 for just 10 liters of fuel. So people go to trade with them to give them. So those are the people sustaining them. And so if Nigerians say today, no, we will not in whatever way give any information to any criminal or give any sustenance or what, expose them when we see them, all these things, this thing will die naturally. I can tell you that. It will make it very easy for us to be able to get all of them and curtail them down. But again, we still have a lot of Nigerians that are doing that. When I was in the Northeast, we banned the movement of urea because they use it in forming and making IEDs, urea fertilizer, taking it to the Northwest, Northeast. Nigerians will go and get tipper, put urea under, carry sand and put on top, as if it's sand for construction. Want to go and give them. We have caught them over and over. You know, so those are the areas. Nigerians must understand that every Nigerian has a role to play. If you aid them, they will continue to thrive. We must say no. Well, if it's a mistakes, because we are humans, nobody's above mistakes. I mean, there is no country, if you are projecting any warfare, there definitely will be a mistake. If you go to Second World War, First World War, it's natural. The thing is that what do you do after the mistakes, and then how do you correct them and prevent them from happening? Now, I bring the issue of Tudumbiri that happened last year, and you know, the whole episode that went in and all the talk and everything about it, even internationally making noise. Americans and other countries still commit the same mistakes with their technology and everything. Tudumbiri and other things, we never deliberately target anybody. But you see, because of the fluid nature of the operation, now what do? The terrorists are also aware that we have this issue about human rights. So what do? Those that are partnering with them, those that are giving them logistics, they bring them into their camps. We use them. Those ones don't carry arms. They just drop those things, and because they are with them, so they use them to say that those are civilians that are being killed. But anybody who is aiding a criminal is a criminal, and so he deserves to die, because that is just the rule. If you go and play with them and get money, you are benefiting from that. Anything that happens to you, we don't have any regret for that. But we regret when civilians are coming to the line of it. It is things that sometimes is unavoidable, but it has never been deliberate. It's never our acts to go out against. We are supposed to protect our citizens, not to destroy them, except if you are a criminal. And so when you expose yourself to them, then you are also exposed to the danger the criminals are facing. I think the EU has done a lot trying to assist us with multinational joint task force. Training we do with most of the countries. Most countries we have training with Americans, with the British, with everybody. So we do a lot with a lot of people. Nigeria the federal government has done a lot in the humanitarian aspect, making sure that we also sustain ourselves. You find out that because of our civil military approach to issues, most communities that we are deployed, we provide basic amenities to them, to the extent of providing hospital treatment, sometimes even giving birth when we provide those opportunities for them. Schools, when they don't have teachers, where we provide water, electricity, all those basic things. We do those things. And that's why it's important for us to continue. So we continue to partner with friendly countries that mean us well. And I think it's very basic. Anything of our life is talking about, this is our turn to do this fight. We must stay focused. We must be robust. We must be tenacious in our approach in dealing with criminals. We must not let them free. So whatever it takes for us to win this war, to secure our country, we must put that in place. Every Nigerian is looking up to us. We also appreciate Nigerians, and we want to appeal to them to continue to support us in our efforts. For the families of the deceased, apart from the payments, their families are also taking care of schools for about 4 children and the wife. And so these things are put in place. Housing are being provided for them, and efforts are being done. Now we're also working on committees now to see how we can do more, because we believe the ones serving are looking at how we're dealing with those ones that have died, or those ones that have paid the price, or those ones that have been injured. How are their families treated? That will determine what level of support and the morale. Because for every military man, morale is very important. It keeps him going. If his morale is low, he's not ready to give his best. But he's always watching what happened to the person that was injured or the person that's died. What happened to the family? So it's important that we continue to make sure that they too are properly taken care of, so that troops' morale will remain very high. So thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to speak, to also appeal to Nigerians to support the military. Nobody should want to do anything to aid those criminals. They don't mean us well. They want to destroy our country. We should never allow them. We should support the government, support the armed forces. We're doing, and then to Russia particularly, we want to appreciate them again for the support they're giving us. We really appreciate them, and we will continue to work together with them.
When 200 people were murdered, killed in a church. Now, I want to ask this. So one question was, did things improve? I think the answer is no on that. Here's the question. Proportionally, do we see Christians killing Muslims in Christian areas of Nigeria the way that we are seeing radicalized Islamists killing Christians in Muslim areas of Nigeria?
What I can tell you, Representative Huizenga, is that Christians are disproportionately targeted based on their population.
Exactly. And by the way, for those that you can't pick up with the microphones, there's audible yeses behind you. Again, the people that are watching who are nodding their heads. Why? Because they have lived this. Their families have lived this. I went to school with kids from Nigeria. I've got neighbors who've been missionaries there, who have family there, who have friends there, who know this is going on. Yet we've got not just the mass media, we got people within Congress denying that this is happening, or certainly de-emphasizing it. It ought to be outrageous that it is Christians, moderate Muslims, anyone being terrorized by these radicalized Islamists in Nigeria, and we've got the Tinubu government sitting back and not doing enough. And I recently just was interviewed by Nigerian television, Arise TV, and that was really their question. Is the Tinubu government doing enough? And I had to answer, no, they are not. And I do not understand how a delegation can come here to the United States and downplay and come up with all of these other excuses as to why this is allowed to happen. It should be rejected and should be called out for what it is. And I've got a couple of other questions that my time has expired, that I'm going to have to go and ask for them in written responses. But one of them I need to highlight is in Benue State, there's 1.4 million people who are considered internally displaced. understanding that the administration has supported refugee assistance in dozens of other countries since taking office, what humanitarian assistance support are you providing or plan to provide to the IDPs in Benue and Taraba states, where many of those Christian communities reside? And I'll have to take the answer in writing. And Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, just to show the breadth of this, I want to submit for the record remarks from the chairman of the Financial Services Committee, French Hill from Arkansas, who also serves on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the Intel Committee. And I serve as vice chair of the Committee of Financial Services. This is where many of those sanctions originate and the enforcement. And I will say this, sanctions are only as good as your willingness to enforce them. And as the chairman has pointed out, there are ways to get out of those sanctions. And that's through correct your behavior. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit the letter. Thank you. And with that, I yield back.
So you have seen it. Very well. Please do well to drop your comment on the comment section what to think about this video, right? Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you and God bless you.